This one's for my girls who were bullied in middle school for being the awkward bigger girl that got boobs first, or maybe that's just me. This one's for the girls that always felt like the bigger friends. This one's for the girls who have just always overthought themselves and wish they were more confident. This video will make you confident. This is what made me confident, and it is so simple if you let it be. I'm Sarah. I'm a professional body image and confidence coach for women. I've been doing this for years. I can confidently say that I have helped hundreds of women find their confidence and feel beautiful in their bodies and show up unapologetically in their lives. And I'm going to teach you how I taught them to do that. And even if I hadn't done all of that amazing work, I have done so much inner work that has truly given me my dream life, my dream body, my dream lifestyle and habits. And that doesn't look a certain way, it feels a certain way. I've been through hell and back with my own mind and my own body, and I have found so much peace and confidence in figuring out who I am and how I want to share that with the world unapologetically. And that's something that I want to share with you. So, I want to emphasize that I came from a background of really not liking who I was and maybe not outwardly hating that person, but always feeling like I needed to change who I was, be quieter, be smaller, take up less space. I needed people to like me. I was so bad at taking criticism. I felt so threatened by other women for so long. And I never actually dated through the lens of like, do I like him? It was all about, does he like me? And I've come really far in that process, but what I will always teach you and always teach my clients is that this is about progress over perfection, and it's about getting a little bit out of your comfort zone each day. If you stay in your comfort zone, you will stay the same. So discomfort, getting out of our comfort zone, is normal. But there is a really important way to do that, that you don't overwhelm yourself, that you don't just take on an entirely new personality that isn't actually true to you, and that you get to know and love yourself truly, not on a surface level, in the process. This is how you build real confidence. This is how you make your energy magnetic to men, women, friends, family, relationships, everything that you want in your life. Jobs. Jobs is a huge one. Beat your insecurities and get this fly out of my face. Do what a lot of us want to do, which is glow up. I had this glow up a few years ago, and it wasn't what I ever thought it would look like because it wasn't about what I looked like. What I looked like changed in the process, sure, so many different times, but that's a story for another time. What I really built was internal confidence, not external confidence. And that internal confidence really allowed me to like and know who I am. True confidence is built by yourself. It's not built from other people. And true confidence grows when you trust yourself, not when you chase other people's approval, other people's compliments. In these days, it's like social media and other people giving you validation through liking your videos, liking your posts, liking your Instagram stories, posting thirst traps. And it's totally fine to do those things and to want those things, but it's not actually what builds inner confidence. That's external validation. And I hear this from clients a lot, maybe because one of my clients in January of 2025, her biggest goal is to stop needing male validation, male external validation, and to lessen her dependency on getting approval for her body or her mind from men. Maybe this is from your parents. One of my clients in the past, she grew up with really strict parents who put a lot of pressure on her to perform, to become a doctor or a lawyer or someone who worked in an engineering field. And she always felt this pressure to please them. Maybe you feel pressured to please your partner in the bedroom. Maybe you feel pressured to please your boss at work. But this is external validation that we're looking for. Of course, it's important to be a reliable employee or a faithful partner, but really what you're looking for is true belief in yourself that you already are those things, and that if you aren't those things or you want to be better at those things, that it's okay to be imperfect and that you can learn. And so we want to build internal confidence, not seek external validation. You with me so far? This really resonates in one of my clients, Samantha. I worked with her a few months ago. She was finishing up her undergrad degree, about to go into her career, which was really important to her. She was in a field that she was really passionate about. She was about to put her first step into the big, wide, real world. And so she really wanted to show up confidently. But one of the things that Samantha told me when we first met was like, my biggest problem is that I compare myself to people on the internet and it feels like shit. And something that we were able to do was to help Samantha start making decisions that were building her self-trust in small steps each day so that she didn't rely so much on getting her validation from people online or constantly comparing herself to people online as well. And by the end of our work together, which I think was only 8 weeks, like she was such a champion in our coaching. And she literally wrote in her reflection, I compare myself to people so much less on the internet now. I know that their beauty doesn't take away from mine, and I feel way more confident in who I am. Her little testimonial is probably in my Instagram highlights if you want to read exactly what she wrote. It's amazing. But basically what you can do to start taking those same steps that she did is doing small things each day that build your self-trust. One of those things could be making yourself a nutrient-dense but yummy meal and just taking a moment to sit with yourself and be like, look, I can cook. Maybe I'm not a world-class Michelin star chef, but I can feed myself, and just taking a moment to sit in that. Or maybe it's getting to the end of the day and doing what I have all of my clients do, which is writing down all of your tiny wins. The big wins are great and we'll celebrate those, but tiny wins. I only snoozed my alarm twice this morning instead of 3 times. I took a shower. I ate enough. I showed up to work even though I didn't want to. I did a small, nice act for someone, like holding a door open. I want you to start listing out your wins, note in your phone, write them in the back of your journal or in your daily journal entries. Text them to me if you're my clients, or if you want to be my client. There's always info about that in the description of the videos. But it's really important to build this consistent habit of realizing how you are already doing a fantastic job being a human. Because a huge part of not having confidence is believing that you're not enough. And we can add to your habits. We can strengthen who you are as a human, but first we need to celebrate who you actually are already. Another thing that you can do is affirmations. And before you roll your eyes, I think affirmations, the way that most people talk about them, are bullshit. They are bullshit. Because if you just stand in the mirror and you're like, I love my body, I'm super smart, does it feel real? Like, does it resonate? It probably doesn't feel true. You probably don't feel your mindset changing as you're saying it, right? I mean, I know I don't. You want to know what does work for me and for my clients is writing down affirmations and then actually making them your mantra for the day. So if your affirmation is, I deserve rest, then that is not so much just a statement you say in the mirror or you write down on a sticky note and put on your mirror or put in a note in your phone or text your friends, I don't know. It becomes almost a guidance for the day. If you want to call it a rule, you can. I don't like to set unrealistic expectations or be really hard on ourselves, but maybe that is the level of accountability you want. You want it to be your rule for the day. The way that I think about it is more like when a ship is coming home at night and it's going towards the lighthouse, or I guess avoiding the lighthouse because it doesn't want to hit the lighthouse, or like the buoys in the ocean. That's what I'm trying to say. When you're coming in a boat in the dusk or in the nighttime, there are these buoys that guide you so you don't hit the sandbars, you don't hit the shallow parts. Let this mantra, this affirmation be your buoys, your guidance. Stay with me for this analogy, to carry you through the day. So if your affirmation, your mantra is like, I deserve rest without guilt, then you're embracing that in small steps. And then now we're feeding back into building our self-trust, and we're trying to change our negative or maybe like self-critical self-talk in the process as well. If you're ready for more support with this, if you're at the point in the video where you're like, sounds great, Sarah, loving it, totally got it, you're totally right, but how the fuck do I do this in my real life? That's what I teach people to do. That's what I give you the accountability to do. If you want more support with this, if you want more hands-on work, then reach out to me. There's always something in the description for that, or you can send me an email, or you can send me a message on Instagram. Using these things is how I helped Samantha compare herself less to people online and people in real life. It's how my client Kelly, who used to overthink like, gosh, everything she did, but especially food and being in the gym and worrying what people were thinking when she ordered or ate or worked out or didn't work out in front of them. It's how she found so much peace with her body and really found her confidence in a way that empowered her to show up confidently in her wellness habits. It's how I've helped my clients like Kendall or Grace or Jaden. If you're watching this, love you guys, you're amazing. How I help them be less perfectionistic, can't say that perfectly. Help them be less of people pleasers in their life. It is amazing to find your confidence in that way. And it's how I've helped so many other women find their confidence too. Another thing that is really valuable for you to do that I do every day is building my like portfolio of self-trusting moments, or like to make it more simple, I would call it like my portfolio of proof. When I'm talking to a client and they say something like, I'm terrified to gain weight or to be at this weight because people are gonna judge me. And you know, my partner's not gonna find me attractive anymore. That's one that I hear a lot. I say to them, like, what is the proof that you already have that this isn't necessarily true? One of my clients, she came to me and the biggest problem was that she was worried her partner would stop loving her if she gained any more weight or she didn't lose weight. She wasn't confident in her body. She wasn't confident in being a good enough person or partner for her personality to kind of make up for what she looked like. And so what I said to her was, I'm gonna have you make a portfolio of proof, a list of all of the moments where you've looked exactly the way that you do, especially through your weight gain. She was with her partner through this. And tell me all of the moments that have already happened where he didn't leave you, where he still loved you, where he still treated you well and allowed you to treat him well, where you guys did fun stuff together, where your relationship grew. Every single day through this is these little moments of proof, but you oftentimes really need to just emphasize those small wins or those small moments of just being safe, of not being in danger, of not being abandoned, of not being rejected, to emphasize that it's okay to be exactly who you are. So I'll give you a little challenge with this, and it's like a, what I would call like a micro step kind of challenge. And you just take one small step each day that's a little bit out of your comfort zone. Because when we jump out of our comfort zone and we're like, okay, starting Monday, I'm gonna be this perfect version of myself, right? Or I'm gonna be this completely unapologetic version of myself if you're trying to be more confident. It's a little bit too much change too fast. It feels overwhelming, and it's that all or nothing cycle. Like it's too much, it's overwhelming, it's unsustainable, and we freak out. So you're like, okay, I'm gonna completely just be myself, and then you're like, holy fuck, who I am is way too much, move backwards. So let's just go from our comfort zone to like one step right outside. And you take one step each day, and it really adds up to these big changes. And that's how we avoid the overwhelm. That's how we make a lot of inner change in actually a short amount of time, like just a few months. And especially when my clients are working with me, we can really expedite that because I'm there to tell them on the external, like, it is gonna be okay. A little bit of external validation is all right sometimes, especially when it comes from a place that's really self-loving. So take these micro steps out of your comfort zone. Maybe it's the actions that you feel are cringe. For me, this used to be like talking really fast or laughing too loud or embracing my authentic style, which is like, I actually know nothing about style. I just like to wear a lot of colors. So I kind of just throw on whatever feels good and feels right, and just showing up in public. For me, this also used to be like existing in my physical body that I thought was too big, being literally taking up too much space, and just going out into the world and being a little bit more myself each day, and then coming home and being like, okay, nothing catastrophic happened. That is all it is sometimes, is just building up your confidence through understanding that the world will not hate you for being. It's so freeing to know that, finally, as someone that spent so long fearing that myself. And I have to emphasize as well that, like, you don't become a perfect person in this process. I am not a perfect person. It's not that I have figured out how to be exactly who I am and therefore I never make mistakes, or I never feel self-conscious, or I never feel socially anxious, or I never like hurt someone else's feeling and I'm like, oh fuck, like I need to figure out how to be better at this. It's not about being perfectly confident because we have this perfectionistic view that we should already be something we're not. It's just about giving yourself the space to be all that you are. And with that, I'll give you my last little tidbit of advice, which is that your true self, your unapologetic self, is a superpower. And it is actually something that super attracts your perfect people, your perfect partner, your perfect job, your perfect friends. And by perfect, I mean the people that are the most aligned to you. For me, that's people that allow each other to just like be imperfect, to show up unapologetically, people that understand my sense of humor, who want to see me succeed, who I feel comfortable spending a lot of time with and supporting. And maybe that's friendships, family, relationships. But I have attracted those people and allowed other people to be that to me. You know, maybe they're family and I don't get to choose who they are, but we've changed our relationship because I've become more of my authentic self. There are studies, there is so much research that shows that actually being imperfect, allowing yourself to show your humanity, makes people like you more because they feel safer around you. You can look this up. There are studies about it. And it is so freeing to understand that just being yourself and admitting to the world and to yourself, like, I don't know everything. I'm not perfect at everything. I'm not good at everything new that I try. I make mistakes at work sometimes. I'm loud. I'm big. Whatever it is that you think you shouldn't be, it is a superpower to just own it and own it a little bit more each day, and even own the fact that it's hard to own it sometimes. One of the biggest pieces of feedback, positive feedback that I've gotten from everyone, from people on social media to people in my real life to my clients, is that Sarah, you talk about the hardship. Like, you talk about the ways that you aren't perfect, and that makes me feel so safe. You want to know how I used to feel when I would talk about the ways that I was struggling, or the things I didn't know, or the things that I tried and I was bad at? I would be so self-critical, and now I feel so empowered to acknowledge those parts of myself and to show up unapologetically, because it is other people's favorite thing about me, and it has allowed me to see that it can be my favorite thing about myself. There's two little things that you can do to just start embracing this more and more in your daily life. Number one, I hear this from clients all the time, is just start to notice with curiosity, not judgment, curiosity, how often you apologize for being yourself. Apologize for being late, apologize for being loud, apologize for interrupting someone. Of course, it's good to be mindful of these things, but just be mindful of how often you apologize for being a human as well. That's step number one. Just be curious about it. Not even stop it. Just first step, awareness. Second thing you can do is do a little audit in your life of like who makes you feel the most comfortable showing up authentically as yourself. I ask myself in my journaling, monthly journaling I do on the first of every month, who in my life feels good and who doesn't? Who feels empowering? Who feels like I can be completely vulnerable around them? Who feels like I can connect with them? And then who doesn't? Who makes me feel drained? Who makes me feel judged? Who makes me feel insecure? And I ask myself, which direction do I want to go in, right? So having awareness of who in your life makes you feel this way, and then why they make you feel that way, allows you to cultivate a community that allows you to be more authentically yourself. And it also allows you to be one of those people more in your own life. This is actually why I've started creating online spaces for group programs. I've run many group programs in the past. I have an online group membership where we do group calls a couple times a month, and women come and connect with each other, and we do breakout sessions. And I've started doing in-person retreats and workshops as well, because so many of us struggle to find the community and connection that makes us feel like our truest self, that doesn't make us filter or audit ourselves. And it is so incredibly valuable for you to have that. So those are all of my brain dump thoughts for you to truly step into confidence and release those insecurities and have my version of a glow up, which is not about what you look like. It is about loving who you are and getting to know yourself in that process. And again, I can't emphasize enough that glowing up is not about looking a certain way, it is about feeling a certain way. And this process is not about jumping into the perfect, authentic version of yourself. Those words literally clash, but we tend to use them together in these kinds of conversations. It's about taking one step out of your comfort zone each day. And that is absolutely something that you can do. So if you're ready for more hands-on, direct, intentional, consistent, fast, because when you do it with someone else, it's fast help with this is what my mentorships are. You can always reach out in the description. If you want to learn more about this, especially if you're new here, make sure you like, subscribe, leave a comment about what resonated most with you and what you want the most help with so I can make more videos that help you. And it really helps the channel out, of course. But overall, I am so proud of you for watching this, so proud of you for being here and being on a journey that you will one day look back on and be in awe of how far you've come. And maybe you don't believe that, but if you don't, think about yourself just a few years ago and think about how proud little you would be of where you are now. When you have intentional support with this, when you have strategy to actually make changes on the things that have been keeping you stuck for years, your entire life changes. So I'm so excited to be a part of that process with you, and I'll see you next time. Love you.